Hop in and let the 10th Assembly. Tinubu's candidates floors APC rebels. Akpabio leads Senate. The rebels is the catchy word for me.
APC rebels. Do you know, just before you continue,
Yeah.
every single political season, we have a catchphrase for every single person. Like prior to the elections, we had the G5.
Yeah.
We had the G5, and then it's just been going all like that, and now we have the APC rebels. Very, very interesting.
So also we have the uncommon 10th Assembly. But we'll get into that. Anointed candidates of the All Progressives Congress for the National Assembly leadership positions emerged victorious during election at the Federal Parliament yesterday here in the nation's capital, Abuja. All the candidates who received the backing of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the APC defeated aspirants who contested the positions contrary to the zoning arrangement of the party. Senator Godswill Akpabio emerged as the president of the Senate, while Senator Jibrin Barrow won the position of the deputy Senate president of the upper legislative chambers. At the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas won the election for the position of Speaker, while Benjamin Kalu emerged as the Deputy Speaker. The ruling party zoned the Senate presidency to the south and endorsed Akpabio from Akwa Ibom for the position, while the Deputy Senate President was zoned to the northwest, where we had Barrow coming from Kano State. The positions of the speaker and the deputy speaker were zoned to the northwest and southeast respectively, while Abbas from Kanu and also Benjamin Kalu from Abia State were endorsed for the seat. The APC senators who were mindful of the 2015 experience, recall that it's very fresh on our mind during the Saraki issue in the floor of the Senate in 2015 8th Assembly, when Senator Bukola Saraki and Yakubu Dogara shunned the party zoning arrangement to emerge as the Senate President and the Speaker respectively, started arriving at the National Assembly as early as 7 a.m. At the Senate, the voting process started at 8 a.m. with the nomination of candidates for the position of the Senate President. Akpabio was nominated by elder statesman, a high-ranking senator, Senator Ali Ndume from Borno South, after the call for nomination was made by the clerk to the National Assembly, Sani Tambuwal. His nomination was seconded by Senator Solomon Adeola of APC Ogun West. And drama, however, ensued when the clerk asked if there was any other nomination, and Senator Elisha Abu, APC Adamawa North, signified his readiness to nominate another candidate. But as Abu attempted to nominate Senator Abdulaziz Yari, Senator Muhammad Monguno, APC Borno North, kicked against it by describing Yari as a non-ranking senator. Monguno, in kicking against Yari's nomination by Abu, said it contravened Order 3 of the Senate Standing Rules. His position was, however, rejected by senators who were in support of Yari with shouts of no, 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 no. But the clerk of the National Assembly overruled Monguno by declaring that nomination of Yari was in order. After the voting, which was done through a secret ballot, Akpabio scored 63 votes to defeat Yari, who got 46 votes. The former Zamfara State governor embraced the new Senate president and congratulated him, even though I went on Twitter yesterday, a lot of people were like, he doesn't need your congratulations, you don't need to hug him, because you would have, if you really loved him, you would have back down for him to just have a smooth sailing. Immediately after the result was declared, the clerk called for a nomination for position of Deputy Senate President, and Senator David Umahi, APC Ebonyi South, nominated Barrow, that is Jibrin Barrow, while Saliu Mustafa, APC Kwara Central, seconded. Barrow was returned unopposed. Akpabio, in his inaugural speech, extended his hand of fellowship to all senators of the 10th Assembly, irrespective of political party membership, saying, having won elections and inaugurated, we should see ourselves as senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and not that of political parties.
All right, this particular conversation has got me very, very interested. So, right now, at the moment, we have the leadership of the National Assembly, which is the third arm of government, and it's very, very important that we have that on lockdown. We have the judiciary, we have the presidency already, and now we needed the National Assembly, and we've got one. So, Senator Godswill Akpabio has emerged the president of the Senate. Jibrin Barao has won the position of the deputy president of the Red Chamber. Then at the Green Chamber, we have Tajuddin Abbas, who has emerged the speaker, and Benjamin Kalu has emerged the deputy speaker as well. So seeing this particular situation, I just want to touch up on the fact that Godswill Akpabio is an individual who has been rife with a lot of controversies. He's had a lot of issues, criminal cases, just different stuff that's tint his image. So one begins to wonder, because there's been, he was the minister of the Niger Delta Affairs. So there were a lot of issues that arose from him sitting in that position 1 year after he was minister of that particular ministry, right? There were different allegations of COVID-19 relief funds misappropriation. There were cases of he also had one NDDC case as well, where we're seeing different issues of him misappropriating funds. Scholarship, there was a scholarship fund case as well, that he was supposed to give the top management of the NDDC had paid themselves a certain amount of money. Oh, this is a different case, right? The top management of the NDDC had paid themselves a certain amount of money. I can't really remember the figures, whether it's 56.6 million billion naira. The top management of the Niger Delta Affairs had paid themselves that amount of money to travel on a vacation for a university graduation ceremony.
The funny thing is that this kind of things are really happening in Nigeria, just that the wind did not blow to that direction. Because if you look at what happened during the Senate committee investigating the Niger Delta Affairs, when Senator Godswill Akpabio came out to wanted to spill some of the beans, he had to be cut short by the chairman of the committee by saying off your mic is okay, because he was kind of indicting the senators in that regard, and it was part of why some senators were even against his ambition of becoming the president of the Senate.
Well, you know what they say, where one bad deed spoils the entire all good thing that you've done, all good things rather that you've done, right? I'm not saying that he has been found guilty of those allegations, but the allegations are there. There's also been a sexual assault allegation where one of the top management officials in the NDDC had come out to say that she slapped him when he was trying to, become all up close and personal with her. So there was that case as well. So you saying off your mic, maybe they were just shouting off your mic to cover up themselves. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are innocent.
Yeah, certainly.
I'm not saying he's guilty, but I'm just saying, is he innocent?
If you want to say something about this conversation, you can reach us via the studio line 0700 010 961 961. 0700 010 961 961. Call the studio lines and let's hear your opinion.
And you know that Rufai will be joining us at 7:30. Rufai Hosseini will be joining us at 7:30 to join the conversation and give us his point of view on what exactly it is that we're talking about. But Aliyu, at the moment, we have a new Senate, the 10th Assembly. That's what we have right now, and we're being optimistic.
I think we have a call.
All right. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning to you. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Yes, my name is Kenneth, calling from Kuje.
Kenneth from Kuje, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to really congratulate every one of them that has emerged as leaders. I really want to urge them that they should do their best to carry this country in their hearts and then work for the masses, because it is the masses that are putting them in that various position. And I pray that God will see them through as they run the for the next 4 years? And secondly, please, I really want to know where your station is located.
It's located in Gariki, Ogbomosho Street, Gariki, Abuja.
Area 8.
Area 8, Ogbomosho Street, Gariki, Abuja.
Okay, Area 8, Ogbomosho Street, Area 8.
Yes. It's where you have Romeo's Pizza. It's in the building where Romeo's Pizza is. If you come to Gariki, the building where Romeo's Pizza is, that's where we are.
Okay.
All right.
Please, maybe time to time you'll be repeating it for some of us that we really want to come over and see the station.
No problem. We'll do that. Thank you so much.
Always open for business. We're waiting for you.
All right. Keep the calls coming through. 0700 010 961 961. Was I too fast? Okay. I'll take that slower this time. 0700 010. Let me take that again. 0700 010 961 961. That's the number to call to be a part of the show. You can send a WhatsApp message. If you're driving, please kindly park and send a WhatsApp message, and then we'll take it subsequently.
And Gisere, this issue of the Green Chamber, talking about the House of Representatives, the leadership there, if you look at the votes that the APC anointed candidate got, is so mind-blowing. It's a landslide victory. I think that is where the word rebel came, because the rebel were really served their breakfast today.
Yes, everybody collects with the I was like, what?
353 353 against 3. Idris Wase got 3, Jaji got 3, and Tajude Abbas got 353. It's like,
oh my god,
the
they really collected.
got served.
But then again, what do you expect? You have the Jagaban. He's spoken, right? He said
this man really commands some kind of respect.
Yes.
If you talk about Wasi, the deputy Senate the deputy speaker of the 9th Assembly, Wasi commands huge respect within the House. So I was like, probably he's going to give Tajuddin Wasi a run for his money. But what we saw there was kind of a walk in the park.
You know, what I'm thinking is it possible that even though he had that particular position, he just wasn't the practical choice for the people at this point in time? Maybe there are so many other factors that we are not seeing.
Yeah, most likely that is it. But overall, like, I didn't see this coming. The margin is so wide.
As against 3-3.
As in, if you really anticipated this, did you actually expect that the margin is going to be this wide? You can call us. You can call us on the studio line and let's hear your thought on this particular vote, because the margin is so wide. 0700 010 961 961. 0700 010 961 961.
All right. The next headline.
All right, the next headline is coming. Okay, still with the.
Okay, we have a DSS, right?
Yeah, DSS. Others need a radical reform. Yes, this headline is so catchy. It's punchy because it's on the Punch newspaper as well. The blockade of the Lagos office of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission by the Department of State Services operatives highlights the impunity of Nigeria's security agencies, ostensibly laying claim to ownership of the premises. The secret police, as usual, resorted to self-help, believing itself above the law. President Bola Tinubu should act decisively by sanctioning the agency and its arrogant leadership as a first step towards instilling respect for the rule of law by state functionaries, often given to impunity. The DSS latest assault reflects its disregard for due process, a carryover from the lawlessness that pervaded the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari, where the rule of law and court orders were treated with contempt. Tinubu should order an investigation into the incident and dispense appropriate sanction on the perpetrators. You know, this is an opinion by someone here contained on the Punch newspaper. But really, if we look at this situation in this country, Gisere, it's really on point for us to call for reform of our security agencies. You discover that there are fracas. You see a tussle or power tussle or struggle between two agencies of government, security agency for that matter. Their sole aim is to protect lives and property of citizens. But it's unfortunate that you see them coming, having loggerheads between one agency and the other. For instance, it's about premises. This is DSS, this is EFCC, all agency of government fighting the same cause. So why would you come and block the entrance of another government agency's office? There are ways. These are administrative issues that can be solved even without people knowing that something is happening.
Can they be solved? Can they be solved amicably? Because if you look at our security agencies, what we find most of the time is duplication of functions, right?
Yeah.
Duplication of responsibilities. That means that if I were asked to, let's say, provide equipment, let's say I was asked to provide equipment, boots that all the security agencies will use, and maybe this particular agency was also in their budget, it's also written there that they are going to provide boots for themselves. That's money that's going to both agencies.
Yeah,
that's money that is going to both agencies. Are you now telling me that, oh, so I should step down for you to take the money? Do you understand? Because I'm not saying that that's what it is, but let's look at it. Why else would there be such a power tussle? Why else? It's clearly stated, each security agency, their function is clearly stated in the Constitution. Let's not even go beyond it. Your function is clearly stated there. So there shouldn't be any breach of responsibilities in the sense that there shouldn't be there should be cooperation rather than synergy. There should be synergy in the way it was written in the Constitution. You fight on land, you fight on sea, you handle air, you handle different responsibilities, you handle civil disputes, the police, right? Everyone's job is clearly stated.
But I think we also need to do a lot of sensitization to some of these agencies. And you also talk about clearly having their responsibility clearly spelled out, although some of the responsibilities are coming to have a kind of clash, duplicate in it. Because if you look at, we've seen a lot of videos, we have even witnessed some firsthand where you see police coming in contact or having clashes with military, especially in Lagos. You see police and against civil defense. You see this, all of these security agencies come in together or having clashes with one another. For instance, now in the police, you discover that police will have marine, and you already have you also have navy. Yes. So you have marine police. You also have navy. So what role would the marine police play, and what role would the navy play? They are all on waters. So there is no clear-cut distinction on what this person should do or the territory this person should control. And usually
I think that within the police constitution, right, the police act, right, it's stated there your responsibility. If for any reason there are clashes, why can't we take this to the court, or why can't we take this to the National Assembly and have them redefine it? I
think the best way is to take it to the National Assembly for us to have an amendment.
Exactly.
Because the police they have a backing from the Constitution. Yes, no two ways about that. But some of the acts that establish other agencies are there as well. So we need to have a clear-cut understanding. We need to also look at what this person should do and what this person should not do. Unless and until we do that, we'll continue to have clashes. And also, the leadership of these security agencies should also play a very integral role in seeing that we limit the number of clashes we have, that interagency clashes. We should limit it, because I don't think it's even a show of shame for a country like Nigeria to be having this kind of clashes at this point in time, at this age, because it's a world of social media now, era of social media. Everything you do goes global. As soon as it happens, it goes global.
Aliyu, I was going to tell a story about what exactly ensued between myself and a police officer close to a popular hotel here in Gariki, and I'll give you the gist when we're done talking to Rifai. Okay. It's 7:31, so we need to connect with Rifai. Okay. Just know that you can join the conversation, right? You can join the conversation 0700 010 961 961. Good morning, Rifai.
How's it going? Bless you. How's it going? How are you going?
We're fine. Going? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning.
Bless you guys.
All right. Yesterday, was it a busy day for you?
Oh yes, it was a busy day, but it started really early and it wrapped up pretty much I think before 12:30 or one. Uh, Pretty much what I expected will happen because I know that if Akpabio had not gotten the Senate presidency, it will have been a big indictment. And given to President Bola Tinubu, he's a politician. He played his politics right. Went, talks to other members of the Senate, got their buy-in, and they got the job done. And it was a good day for them. They had their day in the sun. But also, it was also a good challenge by the likes of Yari. Spent all as he could spend, but the truth is, it was never him. What I just had a little quibble with is what happened at the House of Reps, that people were told to announce who they had voted, which I think they changed the rules at some point, and which I think was vindictive against probably Wase, you know. So that's just what I had a little challenge with. But apart from that, yeah, the key officers have been elected. Other key officers, minority leader, and other positions will be filled up. The hypocrisy finally had been called out because now the APC know that it's time for religious balancing. But when they had a Muslim together and people called them out for it, they didn't say, they just said something because it was politically right for them to say that they wanted to be politically correct. So it has to be said. The most important thing is we should ensure and keep the Senate on their toes so that they don't become a rubber stamp Senate and then they will truly work for the people. Because the problem always in Nigeria is that everybody just balks to the executive arm of government, which is very sad in our country. And probably a couple of weeks or days from now, I should say, we should be able to get ministerial nominations sent to the Senate. And please, this time around, they should put the portfolios. It's not just a case of coming to take a bow, because it's serious business. They should put the portfolio there with them so that they know what questions to ask the minister and grill the minister.
Exactly.
And all of that.
Exactly.
And the Senate too should please. We've seen the antecedents over the past. We've heard stories. The Senate too should lessen the prospect of corruption and truly serve Nigerian people as simple as that. So we can truly grow this country. This country needs to be on a path of development.
Okay, Rufai, I don't know what you think about the person of Godswill Akpabio. I mean, he's someone that has had a lot of controversies over time. We've seen a lot of cases here and there where he was fingered to have, had one corruption case or misappropriation case, especially during his time as Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs. So, having someone who has had so many issues with corruption cases here and there, is it wise to put him at a position where he sort of manages every single he's sort of like a gatekeeper at this point in time, looking at the fact that the budget must pass through the Senate? So is it someone that we can trust to do the job, to get the job done, especially in his office? That particular office has a definition. There's the part where we have senators who are supposed to perform oversight functions, and over time we've seen them drop the ball on that. So what do you think?
The sad reality about Nigerian politics is this, and let me shock you. It's as if people even like to use people that have cases and corruption cases hanging around them so that they will be able to hold them by the jugular. That's the way and that's a sad reality.
Wow.
I mean, a couple of months ago, I think there was a story that was making the rounds about the EFCC still calling to see Akpabio. But today he's Senate president. And that's why you see this fight against corruption is only slanted towards when the person is your enemy, then you go out all of them and say you are fighting them for corruption. But once they're your friend, everything is forgotten. I mean, we all remember how Adams Oshono said, once you join the APC,
all your sins are forgiven.
We know what happens in Nigeria, so we're not surprised. And all of a sudden, voila, chitty chitty bang bang, he's Senate president. But the most important thing is the accountability at which the media and society will hold him by. That's just it. So nobody can gag or call the media. If he has done nothing, if he didn't do anything right, we'll tell Akpabio that he's wrong. And if he's right, we'll tell him he's right. We'll give him kudos and we'll give him a criticism and sentiment. But we know how politics plays out in Nigeria. I mean, just like how Senator Bukachiwa did come out to say that, he gets pressure from time to time for his wife to help some of his colleagues. And if you don't know, him did fit to even call him for investigation and tell him to make more names. In fact, all we heard happen now and say was, he should shut up. He should not continue saying what he was saying. So we all know how and that's why this fight against corruption sometimes is dead on arrival in Nigeria. because it's not the truth most of the time. It's only when you are at loggerheads with the people in power, they fight you, they use all the political associations and leanings and security authority to fight you. But once you're on their side, you become their hero. We know people with corrupt cases. We know people with corrupt indictments. Apart from NDDC, there were cases of the EFCC running after him. Even after he was governor of the state. We know all of these things. Like they say, they play. We know. Politicians will act like we don't know. We know. And I'm sure the argument they will make is that no court has found me guilty. Oh. But speaks volumes about the legal system, where a senator was saying his wife has helped some of his colleagues. You get what we're saying about the legal. So if we want to build Nigeria, we know what to do. But we choose to look away when it's our friends. But when it's not our friends, we shout, oh, kill them, kill them, kill them, kill them. So we can just only hope for the best. And that's why there's the last line of accountability.
All right, so Mr. Rufai, let me pose this question to you. How do you foresee the setup of the 10th National Assembly, to be precise, the Senate, considering the fact that about 74 members are first-timers?
Yes, 74 members are first-timers. There have to be a lot of catching up, legal, legislative experience to learn, because most of the old-timers left and there was no institutional memory handed down. But they'll make their mistakes. That's fine. They'll set it up properly. But what is most important is that they should stay true to their political leaning and most importantly to the interests of the Nigerian people, because we have already seen some of them already that even despite the fact that they're in opposition, they're already frolicking with APC. And another thing that happens in Nigeria is the bandwagon mentality. Once the ruling comes in, even those in the opposition are looking for a way to align because of their own personal interest. So I think the problem really is the average mindset of a Nigerian politician that sees politics as a means to chop. And once you have anything, people can hardly stand for a level of integrity. And that's why I keep saying that. See, for us to make this country work, only pay National Assembly members sitting allowance, remove their salaries, remove their emolument, make the position unattractive. You see that it's what to serve that will serve this country. So, I mean, they have a lot in front of them. They need a lot of bills to be able to rejuvenate the prospect of Nigeria. They need to look at bills that regards fiscal responsibility, because we have been reckless in the way we run our economy in the last 8 years. How we can take that matters a great deal. How we can bring investment back to the country. And how we can make laws to the benefit of people, because businesses are stifled as we speak today.
All right.
Go
ahead.
Released a stat recently that says that collection of revenue had dropped very much from companies because year on year countries are paying lesser in taxes because of the economic slump. So it is dropping for companies. Even the people that are paying the taxes that run the economy is becoming problematic. So when you have problems like that, it's an indication of how terrible we have run the economy. And please do not forget my elderly care bill. Please, we keep talking about maker out there. Big part of that. Let's get a bill for elderly people. Let's get a bill to take care of elderly people. I think these are better societal outcomes.
All right, Rufai, we're moving on to the DSS. You remember we talked a little bit, I think it was last week or last 2 weeks, about the standoff between the DSS and the EFCC. The DSS and others need radical reforms. This is an editorial from the Punch newspaper talking about that particular face-off. What do you think about security reforms in this particular country, seeing as we've had... Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish up. Okay, seeing as we've had this particular issue of insecurity, we've had this particular issue linger on for this long. I mean, is security reform one that is so dire that we need at the moment if we're serious about this war against insecurity?
And a lot of clashes between interagency clashes between our security forces.
I mean, you guys are spot on. There's been a lot of interagency rivalry among our security forces. I mean, security forces are jealous of each other, and it has to be said. And we see that laid out in many cases. And it's not only even the DSS that needs reforms, even the military. I mean, and the fact that corruption infiltrates some security forces, and there's a fight among security forces because of interest. You remember the case of Wadume?
Yeah.
We forgot the story where the police got somebody some military officer intervened and people were killed. Agencies opened fire at each other over a criminal. You see, we forget things in a hurry. And today, we have not forgotten that so we're also a very forgettive country. We're a country that has what I call selective amnesia. Because those are key issues in our national life that we forget a lot. Till today, we have not gotten a thorough investigation as to why two government agencies will fight over a criminal.
Yeah.
We have not gotten thorough investigation, and people have not been sanctioned.
Police officers have been killed.
People do all sorts of things and get away with it, and that's why we need a reform of the security architecture. President Bola Tinubu has said that he's going to, work as regards reform. The better he does, the better, because there's been a lot of madness going on in our security architecture, and that's why you see our war against insurgency has been a difficult one. So many agencies working at cross purposes.
Hello, are you there?
Yes, I've finished speaking.
Okay, on a lighter note, we have this particular story about Hilda Bassi's world record has finally been confirmed by the Guinness World Record, and she's standing at the moment. She cooked for 100 hours, and the GWR has logged her record at 93 hours 11 minutes. What exactly do you have to say about this, especially in lieu of Chef Dami? I don't know if you've been seeing that story on social media. Chef Dami, yes, Chef Dami, who is trying to break Hilda Bassi's record.
Let us get the facts right. Okay. So she cooked for 100 hours, but they locked it at 93 hours. I think the authentication is the Guinness Book of World Records authentication.
Yeah.
That's their own, but when you go and check the rules on the Guinness Book of World Records, I'm not sure Chef Dami's own will take effect quickly, because I think there are procedures laid down, for it. So all of that hands out, all right? And let's see how it gone. But congratulations to Hilda Bassi. Congratulations to Nigeria. But it's not the Nigerians that have been breaking Guinness Book of Records. You remember Kaf, with the dance-a-thon?
Yes.
About that. And I keep telling people that, okay, what is even the history of the Guinness Book of World Records? Guinness Book of World Records started as sort of like an authentication of a trivia, all right? History was people trying as much as possible to get exact records, and it started in a very funny way, and it built an institution after it. I mean, there's a story about Saku Beaver, the managing director of Guinness Breweries then, that went to a shooting party and he missed the golden cover, and there was many arguments, and and they discovered from the arguments that there was no reference book, and from there they started a reference book, and they built it into a sector, an industry worldwide today, and they publish every year, and it becomes a reference book for records. So the question is, do we have the capacity to be able to start our own reference book that will be global? And that's why it's called Guinness World Record, because Sahu Beaver was the top director at Guinness Breweries. Was the managing director at Guinness Breweries. So the question is, our own local records that we set every year, do we have a proper archiving system? And we're going into a conversation about the need for archiving. All our NTA documentaries back in the days, can we archive them and license them and use them to make money for our country? Do we have a proper storage system of how records are kept in this country? Do we have a nation that remembers institutional records and the likes? So we can celebrate Guinness Book of World Records success all we want, but it's also a clarion call for us to look in within and see how we can grow our record keeping industry. Because that's one thing we lack. Most of our records digitized, most of our government records digitized as we speak. I've gone to the National Archive when I'm making research for my book in Ibadan and the likes. Are those things properly kept? So apart from celebrating the Abasi national honor to Nigeria and also breaking that world, we should also look inwards at the capacity of keep can do. So I think that's the subliminal message here we are not getting. Because you see, politicians will never get it. All they do is what is trending, go to associate themselves with what is trending. While Hilda Basi was cooking her heart out, they went, they took pictures, they do paparazzi so that they will say they are not there. But the most important thing about what the capacity of innovation and the records being kept, we have a national record keeping mindset. Do we just remove history from our curriculum for so many? We just brought it back. Do we have a mindset that we keep records, that we tell the truth? Those are the things we should look at.
All right, Mr. Fry, let me put this to you. You talked about the politicians following the trend and doing the whole paparazzi of a thing. And now a coalition of civil society organizations on national and community security development has called on President Ahmed Tinubu to shun political considerations in the appointment of his national security advisor, considering the importance of security to a nation. What would you say about that? And also other key political offices yet to be appointed. What would you say to President Bola Tinubu so that he doesn't consider political compensation, so to say, in terms of in his choices of candidates?
For the security.
If you consider political compensation, you will never get it right. See, in America, many years ago, there used to be something called spoilsmen. Spoilsmen simply mean that people that work your party to get into power, you have to give them the spoils of office.
Okay.
Until a certain president, Robert Hayes, said no, that our country is going to be ruled by competence. And from there, to a large extent, competence started reigning in the affairs of things in America. Not that spoilsmen don't still get it. I mean, in Trump's administration, there are people that were giving positions in Trump administration because they gave Trump a lot of money during the campaign.
Okay.
But if we want to get it right, let us look at people that are competent, not political consideration, because it doesn't make your judgment better. It makes your judgment skewed. That's always the case.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Rufai, for joining us this morning.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you all.
All right.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
You too. Bless you.
All right, Abuja, you're listening to VOP 96.1. Now you have a voice. Front page review is what we are doing here in the studio. And you've heard in-depth analysis from our guest, Mr. Rufai Hussaini. Which of the headlines do you want to comment on? You can call the studio lines. We have a little less than 5 minutes. Yes, 5 minutes. We can entertain calls or messages. Do well to call 0700 010 961 961. 0700 010 961 961.
You know, this particular conversation that Rufai brought up, where he talked about keeping records, is one that is important, because we always talk about database. What database does Nigeria have? We talked about the conditional cash transfers that the Buhari's administration wanted to hand out to Nigerians, and we were asking, how did you get the data for the vulnerable people? What were the premises for selecting these individuals? How did you get that how did you get to that conclusion that, you're a vulnerable Nigerian, you're a vulnerable Nigerian? Was it the quote unquote, for lack of a better analogy, was it the Holy Spirit that told you, this person is a vulnerable Nigerian, right? So what were the parameters with which you selected those vulnerable Nigerians? So moving on to this particular issue of record keeping, I think if you're looking for money at this point in time, if I just gave you a $1 billion idea, go ahead and find ways to gather records, Nigerian. Maybe you can niche down to Nigeria or West Africa if you want to go as far as as far as West Africa, because Africans sort of have an issue with keeping data, keeping records. So you and your friends might want to come together and say, you know what, we're going to be keeping this information and sell this idea out for a certain amount of money for someone to fund, and then you can be doing this every single year. So that's a multi-billion-dollar idea right there for you. And it's very, very important that we actually think about record keeping?
Yeah, certainly we have to think about record keeping. Talking about record keeping, I think a couple of days ago I watched a video of Jack Ma, the co-owner of Alibaba.
Yeah.
His second visit to Africa. He came to South Africa. I think the first visit was last year. He went to Ethiopia and Rwanda, if record serves me right. But this year he came down to South Africa. And he shared some experience that before coming to Africa, he was having this kind of belief based on what he has been seeing in the media that Africa is bad, there is no security, there is this, there is that, no opportunity, the people there are not even talented, they are not creative. But when he came down to Africa,
And he
interacted
experienced,
with Africans, he discovered that this is the biggest continent that you can ever thrive in terms of business. He said the number of youths that Africa has, the idea, the originality in African idea is something else. He talked about our atmosphere, the natural resources that we're endowed with. He talked about the atmosphere, looking at this blue sky. He said they fancy that a lot in China. So if we are in Africa or in Nigeria, we tend to look at some of what we
Downplay
have.
what we
downplay,
have.
yeah, thank you. We downplay what we have. Other people are looking at it as a very big deal. So if you sit and hear an idea, just move into action. You have to be original, you have to be creative. That is the way you say. They say in every problem there is a window of opportunity.
Yes,
So
there
it's
is.
just that you
have to take
you have to take
advantage.
advantage of it. You have to look at it with open mind and see how you can solve a particular problem. All the biggest entrepreneurs in the world, what do? They solve problem. They don't just sit and work for it. They solve problem.
Okay, you're welcome to our TED Talk this morning. Anyway, you can join the conversation 0700 010 961 961. Join the conversation. It is you can call WhatsApp 0700 010 961 961.
And that is how you always get it on VOP 96.1. We have a lot of package for you, bumper package for you. We looked at all sector of the economy. We look at everything that concerns you, and we tell you things that you need to know, not things that you want to know. We may tend to tell you what you want to know, but we basically look at what you need to know, something that can make you be a better person, be informed with what is happening.
What's happening. You know, politics as usual is gone, right? Where situations where we as youth let the older people rule the world of politics. Now we're at that era where we need to get involved. We need to get our voices heard. We need to understand the implications of certain policies, government policies. We need to start understanding it and how it affects each and every one of us. And that's why we need to pay attention. Join the train, join the conversation, in whatever small way that you can. And thank God the world is now a global village. You can find us on YouTube. We're not just limited to Abuja alone. We're all over the world right now. So all you have to do is connect. There are different ways to connect. You can go to the website www.abuja.voiceofthepeople.ng. I'll take that again. www.abuja.voiceofthepeople.ng. You can always call or send a WhatsApp message to 0700 010 961 961. Okay, those are the ways to connect with us here in the studio.
And also, just like one of our caller earlier said from Kuje, that we should make sure
our address.
We dish out our address so that people would know where we located, and probably they may have business package or proposal for us. So we are open for business. You can come to our office. It's located at number 4 Ogbomosho Street, Area 8, Garki, Abuja. If you come, you see Romeo's Pizza. We are in that building. Just ask anyone around Romeo Pizza. You're gonna get to us.
All right, this is Voice of the People 96.1 FM. You've been listening to the front page review. We'll always be having Rufai Hosseini on the phone at 7:30. Hopefully one of these days he's going to grace us with his presence in the studio.
Yeah.
I hope he does. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget that the Ibo Amaka is coming up at 8 a.m. Make sure you keep it locked right here if you want to find out what exactly is going on in the world of politics. As an Igbo man, you can go ahead and do that, or as an Igbo speaking individual, you can be whatever tribe